Hey everyone, Ann Ganguza here, and I am talking with the VO Peeps, which is now VO Boss, VO Atlanta Scholarship winner, Lauren McDowell. Lauren, it is so good to see you. I saw you for like a split second at the conference, and I apologize. I wish I had more quality time to spend with you, but I knew that I was going to have quality time now talking to you to ask you about your experiences. And so for those bosses that are not familiar or didn't catch the first interview with you, Lauren, Lauren was a national scholarship winner to VO Atlanta, and she got to attend this past March, one of the world's largest, is it the world's largest voiceover conference? But it's certainly one that I've been to for many years in a row and absolutely love it. And I'm just so honored to be able to help people out in a small way on their journey in voiceover. And Lauren was our national scholarship winner. She auditioned. She wrote an essay, and we're so proud to have her be the scholarship recipient of 2025. So, Lauren, how was your experience at VO Atlanta? I got lots of questions to ask, but overall.
Oh my gosh. It was incredible. I've been wanting to go for a few years, and with it being in Atlanta and I live in Atlanta, it still felt like so far out of reach though. And because financially just it didn't make sense for me at the very beginning of my voiceover journey, but I went, and I feel like I'm really on a trajectory to like make this my full career. And
Awesome.
it was like gave me all of the information I need. I mean, it was overwhelming in a way, but it was like so good. I've started like really digesting all the things I learned, putting together all my notes, and like figuring out next steps on where I need to go.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you actually hunted me down.
Yeah.
There were so many people. And so,
So many.
let's talk about your journey to voiceover, because you are relatively new to the voiceover industry. So tell bosses a little bit more about yourself and where you came from and how you got into voiceover.
Yeah, so I've been an actor since I was like 14. I've been I started out in theater and did local commercials and things like that in Iowa, where I'm from. And then I moved to Atlanta in 2022, and I came to be an on-camera actor here, and I'm still doing that. But I started training in voiceover in the fall of 2022 at Atlanta Voiceover Studio, and I fell in love with it. And there's something about voiceover where it's like it's really beautiful how it takes all of the acting skills I already have, and then it also presents this new challenge of you have to tell this story, but you only have your voice. And I mean, it's still a whole body experience, but if you only have your voice to portray a story, it just presents an extra challenge. And I also found that it was something I really liked doing, so I just kept at it.
So in that way, actually, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that voice acting is, I mean, it's acting, but there's a considerable difference between, let's say, on camera or theater acting, because you are relying on just your voice. And so what sorts of things would you say, what was the biggest thing that you learned when you are kind of doing voice acting in the studio versus acting on camera? What is the biggest difference for you?
I would say, honestly, this has kind of become more of a similarity than a difference, but is like the physicality of it. And like you have to be so physical in a self-tape arena, but also keeping it within a frame. And in here, in this booth, I can be as physical as I want, as long as it's not picking it up on the mic and stuff. But it's a whole body experience, and that's not something I necessarily knew coming into it. But I would say the biggest difference is there's a lot of tech stuff to learn in voiceover. There is on the on-camera side as well, but like I film my self-tapes on my iPhone. I use iMovie to edit. Those things are pretty self-explanatory, but there's been a larger tech learning curve for me. I mean, I'm learning it. I'm not a big tech person, but I'm getting there. And I think that can be very overwhelming at first, especially for people who've never done this, and trying to figure out the tech side of it. I mean, it's easier than people make it out to be in their head, me being the people. I definitely made it like so much harder, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to build a home studio, all those things.
Honestly,
but yeah.
I think that is one of the biggest stepping stones when people get started, especially if they're not necessarily, I mean, I came from a technological background, and even it's not like I'm a sound engineer, and so building a studio and getting all of those technical things right so that you can submit great quality, files to your clients it's a big hurdle. But once you get over it, I think it's a big relief. Number one, you just have to maintain it somehow. But there are amazing people in this industry that can help you out with that. And one of my favorites is George the Tech, and of course Tim Tippett's, who built my studio. So yeah, I think that's a great analogy of some of the differences and some of the similarities between on camera acting and acting behind the mic. And I love how you mentioned physicality, because I think sometimes if you don't come from an on-camera background or an acting background, it's most people really kind of, they look at the script and their eyes see the script and then it comes out of their mouth, but in between there's no physical movements, which is really what helps us to sound the most natural.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I guess, what would you say is the most, well, before you say what your most favorite part, but what's the most surprising thing that you learned at the VO Atlanta conference?
Oh,
what
goodness.
surprised you the most?
Oh, man. There were a couple of things that really surprised me. I mean, a lot of overlap with on camera, which I love. It's like we kind of hear the same things, like authenticity is key, and make sure you're telling the story and not just reading the script and things like that. But I think what really surprised me is I tried to attend a few different genres of things, because right now I've done mostly commercial, a little bit of corporate narration. And I decided kind of on a whim to attend the political panel. And I was like, wow, I think this might be the next genre I want to go into. It's so that was kind of surprising for me. It's not really something I ever thought about. But I'm very passionate about politics. And I also feel like in the political realm, there's not a lot of younger sounding voices. Sure. And I was like, all right, that's the next genre I want to focus on. So that was surprising to me. But
and I think it's a way that it can give you a voice in reality. Even though you might be speaking other people's words, but if you're on board with what you're speaking about, I think it adds like an amplifier to your voice. And so I think that's great if you have a passion. I love that you mentioned being passionate about it. And I think that for me, a lot of times I'll try to, for my own career path, I have always followed the things that I'm passionate about. And that just ended up in genres that I became passionate about. And some of them are very surprising, actually. I just didn't even think about medical, but medical for me, I had some background in it in the corporate world. And then all of a sudden I found that, wow, my voice can, whereas before I worked in the corporate world and was maybe designing a product that helped people, now my voice could help people or educate people in that same genre. So I love how you explored different genres at VO Atlanta, and they certainly covered a lot of them there. So did you meet any of your voiceover idols there, or people that you admire at the conference, and how did that go?
I did. First of all, I met you, Anne, which was really cool.
That was not a loaded question, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. Well, I got to catch up with some of my Atlanta voiceover studio people, because even though, I live in Atlanta, I don't always see them, so it was nice to see all of them. I met Larry Hudson in person. I took his Learn Audacity class, and it was really awesome. Also, I had a voice guide. I signed up for the first contact thing. My voice guide was Amy Geronimi, and she was awesome.
Oh, I love Amy.
So cool. And so I feel like I met so many people that I'm almost blanking, but there were so many people, even because I listen to voboss, but I also listen to VOpreneur, so I got to see Mark Scott. It's very cool to see people that you hear all the time, and the people that do the Making Waves podcast. I met their editor Lacey. I had lunch with her, and I was like, I listened to the podcast. It was a very nice awesome connection. So I met. And also, all the people on the Nava panel, I was like, well, I know who all these people are, but I've never met them. And so it was really cool to just, be in the same room and, be like, they're my colleague. It's not like I'm trying to chase something that's so far away. It's like these people are working in the same industry as I am, and there's no like gatekeeping that there feels like in on camera sometimes. So that part was really nice.
Absolutely. So do you have any particular memorable fun moments that you would like to share from VO Atlanta? They had, there was a lot of learning, but there's also a lot of fun things at VO Atlanta outside of just hanging out with people that, love voiceover and are passionate about the same things. But they also had some pretty cool, events that were happening at the evening hours. I don't know if you attended the wig night or was it the wig party, which was a lot of fun, or karaoke.
So I did not attend the nighttime parties. As much as I'm an extroverted introvert kind of. Large groups kind of overwhelm me. But instead, I went to the Sirius XM like script workout things in the evening, and I loved it.
Was that with Steve?
Yes, Steve Pogach. Yes. So fun. My number got called in the first night, and I was like, yes. Yay. And so I got to read for them, and just like also watching them just direct all kinds of different people. I even watched them direct people in Spanish, and I was like, I can understand what's going on even though I don't speak the language. Like it's just like, because it's all this human connection, and that's about bringing that to the script. And it was really cool, and I met a lot of people that way too. And so then I was like, oh, that was really fun, and then I went the next night.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And I love how you, an introverted extrovert. I kind of feel like sometimes I'm like that too. Like I literally, believe it or not, when I'm presenting, I'm presenting and I'm on. And I also love to see a lot of my friends, but it does become sometimes overwhelming. But I love how VO Atlanta, you can have those avenues so that when you are overwhelmed, you can go to a quiet corner, you can go to a small workout. And so it kind of just fits everybody. And in reality, I think if you attend any voiceover conference, and I love VO Atlanta because I've been going for so long, but there's many great conferences out there. I believe that you can make it to be exactly what you need it to be for your experience. And so
for sure.
I would ask you now that you've attended VO Atlanta, how do you feel about the direction that you want to be going in your voiceover career? And where do you think that might be?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I have a lot more confidence in myself. It is something like, first of all, getting the scholarship was a big confidence boost, because I was so surprised. And I just like, it feels validating to know that like I'm in the room where I'm supposed to be. I'm not like, again, it's not like chasing this dream that's so far off. Like I was like, I'm supposed to be here. And it really I asked lots of questions. I did my best to interact with people and talk to people, although sometimes, like, especially when I don't know somebody, going up and meeting somebody for the first time is really challenging. It's scary. And I have to do it for so many different aspects of my life, but it just like can be overwhelming. But I do feel like after going through so many breakout sessions and really like digesting it all, I was like, I definitely need to focus more on setting up my business as well as like the performance aspect. I was like, I feel like I have the performance aspect not down, like obviously you're always learning, but like I have that part ready to go. And what I didn't have was like a CRM or like marketing. And so I also challenged myself to really go to those sessions, because as much as, I'm a performer first, I'm like, I have to know the business side. That. And as much as I'm like, business, but it's important. It's important, and that's how you make money, and so that's important. So that's where I decided I need to focus the most. And I went to a session on automation, and they were doing a presentation on this CRM called Velocity. And so I've been trying it out because I've got a free trial, and it seems awesome so far. Just like all these tasks that come to mind that just like sit in my head and then overwhelm me. It's now like, if they're all in one place and I can figure out how to get the computer to automate it for me, it's so much less overwhelming. And that's what I want to set up. Yeah. Yep. So that's my big focus.
I think my entire, just doing a lot of the things that I love to do in this industry. And I think you kind of know me that I do a lot. I love to coach. I love to produce demos. I love my voboss podcast. I have another podcast. And so with all of the many things that I do, automation is so helpful. And I think I constantly strive to automate my things more and more and more. So I totally, totally get that. And I love that you took the avenue of saying, well, business, because most people feel that way about it.
Yep.
It's one of the reasons why I started voboss as being more business oriented, because again, like you can be the most amazing performer in the world, but it doesn't do you any good if nobody knows about it and nobody knows how to like see you and find you and pay you. So yeah, I love that you took the initiative and really dug in deep to those things that you knew that you needed. And yeah, I think that's really wonderful. So let's ask a fun question, because outside of voiceover, right? I mean, not that those weren't fun questions, but outside of voiceover, what do you do for fun? I mean, what do you have hobbies? Do you have pets? Do you have...
I do. I have all the things right now. So I have a dog and a cat, Gizmo and Chester. But I've also started this year. Well, I guess end of last year. But my boyfriend and I had started fostering a dog. And he departed from us back in, like, right before VO Atlanta, which actually was perfect timing. And he went to a rescue up in New Jersey. So we didn't find him his forever home, but he's living his best life up there, and that was really rewarding. Aww. And right now I'm taking care of another friend that I met during fostering. I'm taking care of her foster dog while she's on vacation for a week, just to kind of make sure that the dog doesn't have to go back to the shelter. I realize that I have a big passion for, especially in the South, there is a huge pet overpopulation crisis, and they're like desperate for fosters and adopters all the time. So even though I live in an apartment and it can get quite crowded with two dogs, it's definitely worth it. And so I've been putting a lot of focus on that this year, but I also, outside of voice acting and on-camera acting, I work for 2 nonprofits, which are really, really special to me. Nice. And they both involve stuttering, the stuttering community. And so I work for SAY, which is the Stuttering Association for the Young, and then SPACE, which stands for Stuttering People, Arts, Community, and Education. And so I'm a teaching artist with them, and I work with youth who stutter to just do arts-based programming and build their confidence. And it's really, really special to me. I've been working in that community for like 8 years now.
Wow.
And I really love what I do there. And I work at a summer camp called Camp Say that Say puts on. And I've been a counselor there for a long time. And I really found out that that's my like next biggest passion besides acting.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I imagine you must be so inspiring for the people that you touch and work with. So that's amazing. I love that.
You.
And is there hey, I'm always into like, hey, if it's a nonprofit that people can, contribute to, I mean, absolutely. I'll post the links along with our interview here. So if people want to help out in those organizations, they absolutely can. And
absolutely.
So in closing, let's talk about what would be your one piece of advice that you would give to someone, of course, just starting out in voiceover.
Ugh. I would say take in all the information and know that you'll get back to all the information at some point. It's okay to just try not to let it overwhelm you. You can really be a sponge and learn all the things, but know that eventually you'll break it down into bite-sized pieces and get there. So as much as information is thrown at you, just receive it and know that you don't have to focus on every single part of it all at the same time. That's what I would say.
Good advice. I love that. How can bosses, if they want to talk to you more, or maybe, go and work out with you or contribute, how can they find you on the internet?
Yeah. So I have a website. It's a work in progress, I'm going to be honest. But
there we are.
It's lauren-mcdowell.com. And then I'm on social media. I have an Instagram. It's at Lauren McDowell Actor. And I'm on a couple other social medias, but Instagram's usually what I use the most.
Awesome.
And then you can always email me, laurenmcdowellactor@gmail.com.
I love it. Lauren, it has been so wonderful talking to you. I'm so glad that I got to spend a little more quality time than we had at VO Atlanta in talking with you. And I'm so glad that you got to go to VO Atlanta and got so much out of it. And I wish you all the best. And this will not be the last time that we speak. I'll be kind of tracking you and seeing how things go for you.
Great.
And maybe we'll readdress this down the road. So thanks again so much. And we're so proud
Thank
and
you.
so happy that you had a good experience at VO Atlanta, and can't wait to chat with you again to see how it's going.
Thank you so much, Anne. I really appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Bye, guys.